BBC One Match of the Day.
Good evening. English football came second best in Europe this week. Could today's Premiership games restore some faith? After a Norwegian licking on Wednesday, Blackburn Rovers found a Norwegian kissing today. Jan Fjortoft and Middlesbrough against the champions is our top game. In London, two of European football's top stars were in opposition. Ruud Gullit for Chelsea in the Midlands, Ron Atkinson's new club Coventry against his old one Aston Villa is our third match. We'll have the day's other goals as usual. September's Goal of the Month competition for you to enter. And Alan and Trevor will be putting our current standard of play into perspective as they assess today's games. First, it's to the brand new Riverside Stadium, home of Middlesbrough, who had an impressive start to the season, against Blackburn, still desperately seeking a return to last season's form. The commentary from Barry Davis.
Viewed from on high, it looks like a lunar station down by the docks. A small step from the city, a giant leap from Ayresome Park. The Cellnet Riverside Stadium is a symbol of Middlesbrough Football Club's attempt to escape the years of mediocrity. Inside, Brian Robson's team have rewarded capacity crowds, their best for 14 years, with 3 wins and a draw. 9 of this side have played in every game, and the only defeat has come at Newcastle. It's a very compact start. 9 goals scored, and Nick Barmby, who's been on target twice, has played a part in 7 of those 9. Blackburn so far have been a team still gasping for breath after just making the winning Tate in the Championship last May. Their side shows just one change from further disappointment this season. In Norway, Matty Hone preferred to Lee Makel. Graham Lasso is still out with ankle problems. Alan Shearer is 1 short of double figures for the season, his individual form unaffected by collective failure. Quite a long journey for the referee, who is Paul Alcock of Redhill in Surrey. Teams in traditional colours, and as far as Middlesbrough are concerned, almost traditional numbers. First free kick against David Batty. Now the new spirit on Teesside, summed up by a teenager before the match. He was asked if there were any problems getting tickets. He said no, he just queued for 4.5 hours. Did you call? Well, it could so easily have been curtains. Lovely turn by Hignett. And Mustoe over the top. He'd be disappointed he didn't bring Flowers into the action. Really good ball by Hignett. A lot of running, as you can see, and inside Hendry, but he couldn't keep it down. Batty Shearer. Newell, beaten to it by White. Clipped away by the favoured foot of Morris. Batty. Kenner. Holmes. Pollock. Barnby. Fjortov left. 4 against 4. Fjortov. Not really a test in the end, and Pollock never looked like getting there first. Pearce. Holmes. Berg. Played into trouble. This is Hignett. Barnby. Oh, that's a good ball for Cox. Fjortov. Motd thought he was going to get there. And Batty felt his arrival. He was trying to turn to get it away as Motd came in and caught him. But I think that was inadvertent. Cox wants it way over this side. Hugely accurate the pass. This is Pollock. Magnificent save. And apparently at some cost to the goalkeeper. Really good crossfield ball in the first place that found Cox. One touch. Driven across, and he came down very hard on his right arm. Not happy, although it seems pretty friendly. Well, not quite that friendly. Fjortov buzzing around in front of the goalkeeper, and Flowers rather sort of feeling he got a wasp that he wanted to get rid of. Cox, just. Pearce. Well found for Pollock. Hignett. Morris. Good block. Bambi. Well, it all started with the excellent crossfield ball. Pollock back. Played in by Hignett. Morris with the cross. And when it came loose, Bambi with the finish. Lovely ball up by Hignett there. Morris, it's not his favourite foot, but he went for it. And Barnby stretched for it. Patrick addressed confirmation of the scorer. It's his third. Purchase from Tottenham. That's the goal right on the stroke of half-time. And on the balance of play, Middlesbrough deserving to be one in front. Middlesbrough 1, Blackburn Rovers 0. There was one goal in the first half. The last time these two teams met on Teesside, that was in December '92. On that occasion, it was scored by Blackburn. Middlesbrough won the match 3-2 with a hat-trick from John Hendry, who after a lot of problems with injuries is back on the bench today. Nearest he's got to playing this season. Away by Pearce from the first Middlesbrough attack, the second period. There was a bit of leaving it to each other there, and Pearce got it away eventually. Well, I think he should have done so without waiting, but it's easy to say that from here. This is Pollock. It's given an early impetus to the home side. Holmes, free kick. No, referee says play on because they kept possession. Did well. Berg, Newell, Holmes, Berg, Shearer's waiting in the middle here, away by White. Walsh to claim, and didn't make it, did it the second time of asking with the punch. Berg, danger not over yet. Both goalkeepers have had an early moment. They will be very pleased to have survived. Came to challenge. Colin Hendry was a bit strong. It's a good reaction to turn it away from Sherwood. And then the follow-up, Shearer and Hendry in each other's way, really. And just before that, at the other end, a bit of hesitation. Almost cost Blackburn. Pearce finally getting it away. Just. Berg. Shearer. Batty. Kenner with a lot to do. Nice touch by Sherwood. Back to him from Shearer. Good parry. Super pass by Alan Shearer. And the good save with the left hand. He's going down, and he turned it away. Shearer, Walsh, collected by Pollock, and the break is right side. Hignett makes the early run, Pollock going as well on the left. Ball given away. Still his goal divides the teams, and we're in the 13th minute of the second half. Thoughtful Viv Anderson. Blackburn poised to make a substitution. Pollock, Fjortoft, Hignett. Good cover, Kenner. Waits his chance. Kenner did well then to get across the back. And the man to be replaced is Matty Holmes. He's getting a good round of applause, Holmes, from the Blackburn supporters. And in his stead, Paul Warhurst. Sherwood. Barnby. Hignett to his right. Fjortoft has made the run to the left. It's these three. Oh, beautifully back again, Bambi! Goal kick. Bambi felt that he was challenged and he was making the shot, and that the referee should have been pointing to the spot. Great return by Hignett to Bambi. Well, the challenge was untidy by Sutton. Hignett telegraphed that one. Shearer. Newell pulls away to the right. Shearer runs into the space, and Musto does an excellent job and gets a standing ovation around me. Been here 5 years now since he came to Oxford. Bambi, Pollock makes the first run. Fjortoft. Beautifully played. This is Hignett. That's two. There were so many options. Bambi, little flick back to him from Fjortoft, and Hignett played it. The angle narrowed and he beat him on the near side. Hurled it round the goalkeeper. Really good finish. Hignett. Arrogantly done, really. Here's Fjortoft. Did well, Fjortoft, and so did Tim Flowers. Just managed to stick out the right foot and Flowers the left. Referee stop play. Clash of heads. It's been such a difficult time for Ray Harford. Somehow gets out of the cul-de-sac. Beautifully played, lovely swing of the body. Fjortoft blocked by Hendry with his body. There's a bit of curl on the shot, but it didn't have time to be realised. Here's Shearer, pulled a bit then, surely. Referee again playing advantage. Sherwood. Berg. Shearer turns away, looking a touch dejected. Fjortoft. Bambi. First seen by Cox. Hignett forced a little wide by the pass. There's still plenty of options. Built off. Well, he was given the ball where he asked for it, but then got underneath it. Had he let it run to Barmby, who was behind him, might have been a bit better. Toft again shielding the ball well. Musto. Cox. Oh, falls to Hignett. Good stop pass. A good parry, and Hendry immediately putting it out for the corner. Corner coming in stoppage time. Cox just wouldn't come down. Hignett. A thoroughly well-merited victory for the home side. Hignett in the 72nd minute, adding to Nick Barmby's goal in the 45th. And really, it's difficult to see why Middlesbrough was so ill-considered before the start of the season. Considered to be among the relegation candidates, but there's a good basis here for Brian Robson. And equally, it's difficult to see what Blackburn Rovers have to do to get out of their slough of despond. Final score at this fine new stadium that has a really cracking atmosphere is Middlesbrough 2, Blackburn Rovers 0.
Now, just for the benefit of those who were watching, you are Nick Barmby and you are Craig Hignett, is this right?
Yeah, you've got it right. I mean, it's been well documented from the beginning of the season how alike we are on the pitch. I think people don't realise how unlike we are off the pitch.
True. No, you know, a lot of things have been said about, you know, the way we look alike, but, you know, I feel as though I'm miles better looking than Craig, to be honest. And plus I'm younger, he's getting old now, so...
Yeah, it's true. I do wish I was him, because he's only 21, I'm 25. I'm getting on a bit now.
Well, Robbie Mustoe and Jimmy Pollock work very hard in midfield, you know, to knit everything together. But Barmby and Hignett are linking very well with Jan Fjortoft. So we always look threatening. We always look as if we'll score a goal through them three. So the lads at the back have done very well to keep us a solid foundation. So we're getting decent results at the moment.
Well, we've all got to stay together. I mean, it's a good set of lads as it is. And I think once we go ahead, I mean, a lot of games this season we've gone behind and we've struggled. You know, the games we've gone in front, we've won. So, you know, we've got to... I don't know what it is at the moment, but we've got to sort out quick, I think.
Just one last thought, Craig. How's the boot cleaning these days?
Alan Hanson's told you, I used to do his boots. He had the biggest boots in the world. I've still got the marks on my elbows where it used to come up here and I used to rub them. All the polish is all still there. But no, he was okay as a boot man. He used to pay me well.
It's a bit rude, wasn't it?
I tell you what, £5 a week and £40 bonus at Christmas, it's more than I'm getting in this job. I should go back and clean his boots, I think.
It's more than the three of us are getting in this job. Do you see anything in that match today to compare with those part-timers from Norway who beat Blackburn on Wednesday?
I thought Hignett played well, but Barmby is fantastic. 2 good feet. Bob Paisley once said the first 2 yards at this level is in the head. I think he's a shining example of that. His movement is great, his vision is great, his awareness of players is great, and on the day he was just sensational. Hignett here as well turns round and he comes forward. Now with Arrow Barmby, what he does well here, he just moves across the defence and that leaves a little bit of space for Mustoe, picks it up and hits it over the top. But the Hignett-Barmby partnership worked very well today and they look for each other all the time. Cox comes in, good tackle. Hignett on the ball, he looks for Barmby. Now this is a sensational pass. First time left peg into space, inch perfect, and he was doing that sort of thing all afternoon. This is a great example of give and go. Hignett again Watch this. Give, go, and it's like, see you later. He's left 3 defenders for dead. And this piece of play is just out of this world. Watch the quick feet here. He's in a corner. You think there's no way out. Little nip over the top. Gets past the defender. He's on his way now. And this is what I talk about, the awareness of players around about him. He plays Fjortoft and beautifully. And finally we come to the goal, and it's just easy. Nice touch, turn, and again, give, go, get it back, take the touch if necessary, great ball through, and Hignett finishes it off. And a great Middlesbrough performance, and they're looking very solid. You know, the two, Hignett and Barnby, work very well together, but the other good players in the team. But what an acquisition for Middlesbrough. Mark Barnby.
Steal at 4.5
Oh. Well, you know, we're looking at the young players the other night, you know, McManaman and Redknapp, but he's up there with the best of them. Barnby.
But it's all built on a solid defence, isn't it, Middlesbrough?
Yeah, they're very, very solid, and they've got 2 players in the middle of the park that work very hard, and you need that if you've got the creative players beside you.
Yeah, and Fjortoft a good target man.
Yeah, he does well for them. But Blackburn, I mean, if you analyse the Blackburn side of things in the clips there, again, it's the same as when they played against Liverpool. No challenge. Their game has been based on 110% hunger and desire and working together. And this year it just hasn't happened for them. Bob Paisley once said that the problem with winning the championship is that 3 months later you're still doing a lap of honour, and I think that's what's happened to them.
He said a lot of things, Bob
Paisley. I tell you what, it's the Bob Paisley show tonight. But what Batty's right, they've got to stick together. I mean, there's only so much Ray Hartford can do to motivate them. The players, when they go on the pitch, have got to answer all the questions.
Thanks, Alan. So to Stamford Bridge and the first meeting of those Dutch stars, Ruud Gullit. And yes, we've gone a bit Latin American tonight, just as they have in the northeast. It was on, then it was off, but today he was on the team sheet for Newcastle, Faustino Asprilla from Colombia. Of course, Middlesbrough had been there, done that. Their South American star arrived months ago, Juninho from Brazil. Our first match tonight, the big northeast derby, Middlesbrough against Newcastle. Since the Premiership began, Manchester United have won the title twice. Today they met at Old Trafford. That's our second game. At the other end, they say Bolton are already down. How could manager Colin Todd lift his team for the visit of Aston Villa? We find out. And with this man influencing a huge improvement by Chelsea. A nervous day, perhaps, for Coventry City as they battle to move out of the relegation zone. That's our third main game. We have the result of Goal of the Month. And comment tonight from Gary and Trevor. Well, today Middlesbrough could have filled their new ground twice for the visit of Newcastle. Would this be the match that could dent Newcastle's race to the title? The commentary from Barry Davis.
The 90th Teesside derby in league football. The first, of course, for the Selnet Riverside Stadium and the special atmosphere that it induces. Current form would indicate only one outcome. History and a little local rivalry suggest it's nothing like as clear-cut. This is the Middlesbrough team looking to match a record which shows 6 home wins and 4 draws in the last 10 visits of Newcastle, and no success for that club since Boxing Day 1964. There's only one change compared with the team that drew with Wimbledon in the FA Cup in midweek, and that's the return of this young fellow, Philip Stamp, 20-year-old, to midfield. For Newcastle, the return from suspension of Darren Peacock allows Kevin Keegan to rest Steve Howie, who again has a rather tight hamstring. And the Colombian international, Faustino Asprilla, who only arrived to join his teammates at their ancestral home hotel, having flown in from Italy this morning, gets a place on the substitutes bench. David Ginola's team this afternoon is Canal Plus. The French will hear his words while through suspension, we miss his actions. Final countdown for the referee, who is Steve Dunn of Bristol. It's an ideal afternoon for football. Pitch with a pleasant amount of give. Bit of a swirl on that one. And at the end, it's a goal kick. Nick Bambi, who I'm sure would like to celebrate his 22nd birthday of tomorrow with a victory here. Here's Ferdinand. Good run. Concerted play. He's certainly more right to left than the other way around. Barton. Played by Whelan. Not well. Ball's been given away rather too often for home supporters' comfort. Beresford. Beardsley. Followed by Stamp. Clark. Ball back bar 2. Here's Gillespie. Still Gillespie. Just played it too far forward. A few Newcastle supporters up on their feet complaining, but Gillespie didn't. Did get caught, but he played the ball too far away, and the referee and he were in accord that nothing would be given for that. Peacock. The most constructive pass from his side. And having a very good season too. So that was a bit of a surprise he used that so poorly. Free kick against Pollock. Just a hip. By Whelan. Peacock. Oh, well up, Janino. Spring heel jack. Well, that may help to lift both home team and home crowd. Stamp. Fell a bit kindly. Barnby being encouraged to go for the shot. Put in by Albert. As he went instead for a pass and return. Juninho. Well to get it back. Oh. Did well to take it away. Good tackle by Albert. Just onside, Ferdinand. Thought he was going to get away. Jack Charlton, of course, who's managed both these sides. Senicek takes over. Enjoys all that. Barton. Ferdinand. Gave Whelan the opportunity to challenge. Beresford. Gillespie on the far side. It's side netting. And huge complaints among the Middlesbrough defenders. They really went to sleep then. A diagonal ball could well have ended with Gillespie scoring. Beresford, who provided it, seemed to be totally unaware that there was a threat here from Gillespie. Was allowed to go on. The angle was covered by Walsh. A bit short. Steve was trying to get there without really having the opportunity. Watson. still. Did well. He's got two-man overlap on the left side. This is Barmby. Wilkinson. Morris. The nearest yet for Middlesbrough. And it all came from the run of number 20 there, Philip Stepp. Excellent piece of play, turning defence into attack by the youngster. Gillespie popping up on the left side. Still Gillespie, good save! And Walsh entitled to complain. Intricate stuff, improvisation with the shot, and a really good tip around the far post by Wilkinson. This is Peacock. Quite neat. It was the right ball, but he didn't hit it hard enough. Nino was the waiting recipient. Ferdinand. Challenge just produced the stumble from Robert Lee. Two wait in the middle. Watson, Ferdinand being held on the edge of the box. Neil Cox. Juninho, if you didn't know. Oh, that's beautifully done, Bombay! It's deflected, it's a corner, and it was a lovely attack between the two small players who offer so much when they're on song together. Just a touch there from the challenge, and I think also from the goalkeeper. Came up with the back was Vickers. There was a nice attack, started by Cox. Decisive ball from Juninho, and Barmby close. Juninho. Pollock. Cox on the touchline. Beg your pardon, Morris on the touchline. Wilkinson to the right of the penalty spot. This is Juninho, who waited late! And Beresford has put it past his own goalkeeper. Oh, and he encourages the crowd to applaud Wilkinson, who went in, but the delay here was absolutely crucial. Being policed here by Peacock, waits, then gets the angle, too late the challenge by Peacock. Wilkinson's presence forcing the error, Beresford the unlucky man. And he said at lunchtime that there were signs of getting back to old form in the match against Wimbledon in the Cup. Watson. Albert, and if support, 4 in the box. Peacock! Had a good half, Gary Walsh. Would have expected to have made this one. Did it well. Peacock shot. Last minute of the half. Standing ovation for the home side, who were not in the match until Juninho leapt high in the air above Peacock with roughly a quarter of an hour gone. And it was Juninho who created the goal, for which the unlucky John Beresford put the ball past his own goalkeeper, but it was a delightful piece of skill because he delayed so long before playing the ball in. Newcastle might not see it that way, and they are behind the only goal of the match, dividing the teams in Middlesbrough's favour. Middlesbrough forced to make a change at the start of the second half. Craig Liddell has come on in place of Philip Stamp, who sustained a calf injury after a really good performance in the first half. Warren Barton. Two teams starting the day with a historical record of 32 wins each in league encounters. For the first time at the Riverside Stadium, there is a crowd in excess of 30,000 by precisely 11. Well improvised, Bambi. Wilkinson, just challenged in time by Clark. Bambi gets in behind Peacock. Good save! Bambi couldn't have done better than he did. This was a really fine piece of goalkeeping. Feet and hands. Juninho with the corner. The other substitutes. Are we to see his debut? Here's Bambi. Well, he might have had a hat-trick in this match. Simple clearance, one flick on, and as in the first half, challenged as he went for the shot, and he pulled it wide. Juninho, on for Bambi. And he's been both sides. But he still can't give himself the birthday present. Vulnerable at the back, but going forward, it looks more promising for them. And here's Ferdinand! Substitution for Newcastle United is imminent. The Colombian is going to enter the fray. And Faustino Asprilla, later Palmer, makes his debut for Newcastle United. Taken a very central position at the moment. Beardsley is out on the left, Watson on the right. Watson. Barton to the right. Asprilla just inside him, but not the best of passes come to be read. Juninho gets support from Morris. Makes the diagonal run, creates a hole by doing so. But it bubbled up a bit, and Juninho got right underneath it. Asprilla. Ferdinand in the middle, so is Watson. Good skill. Here's Watson! What Juninho can do, so the Colombian can match. Asprilla lays on the equaliser. From almost the same blade of grass. What an entry into the Premiership. Paul Vickers, he was beaten to the wide, and Watson's header, once again he comes up with an important goal, Steve Watson, but it was made by this skill. Vickers didn't know where he was, one way and then the other, and the cross met with no challenge. But everything to his left. Watson, Asprilla made the forward run. Pollock had gone with him. This is Clark. Newcastle running the game all of a sudden. Two weight in the middle. Watson once more, but he slipped at the wrong moment. Given away to Beardsley, and here's Les Ferdinand. Oh no! No for Walsh. Very much yes for Ferdinand. All smiles from the Newcastle number 9. But the error, a sad one for Walsh, who dived over the ball. Squirmed under his arm. Three players came to him, and the shot should have been easily saved, but wasn't. Poor Gary Walsh. But Les Ferdinand gets his usual goal. Here's Asprilla, gets the cross in again. It's corner. Asprilla! An amazing stop really by Walsh. It just fell though where he wanted it to be. Beardsley's cross. He wasn't offside. Well, the confidence had coursed back into the veins of Brian Robertson's team. But it's now leaking away. Asprilla. Well, that would just cap the afternoon for Newcastle if he was to score as well, and he might. Next at times almost seemed to be too long. He has his own style. It's been giving pleasure to his country, to a number of clubs and now to Newcastle. By little, no one in particular. Barton. Watson hadn't made the forward run. Asprilla. Had it on a string. Pollock. Hignett. On by Barnby. Side against Asprilla. And waves a gloved hand to the linesman. Pollock, one of the Middlesbrough players who doesn't deserve to be on the losing side. Barnby will look back on the misses. Morris, Pollock, they've missed the drive of Stamp for all the efforts of Little. Beardsley. And Asprilla stopped in stride by the final whistle, but his substitution changed the day, laying on the equaliser for Steve Watson. But it was a match that deserved to be won by a better goal than the one Ferdinand scored. It was tough on this man who presented him with the winner. Gary Walsh driving over the top of the ball, but Kevin Keegan starts year number 5 with a new face in his team who proved an instant success. And Juninho's efforts in the end upstaged by the arrival of the Colombian, and Newcastle win by 2-1.
Well, I couldn't see until I put Tino, or Faustino Asprilla on. I couldn't see where the spark was going to come from today. We were all a little bit lethargic. We weren't quite... First 10 minutes played well, and then after that, to be fair, Middlesbrough took the game to us, counter-attacked us whenever we get possession away, and that was plenty of times. And they were unfortunate not to kill the game off. I mean, they get the second goal, it's finished, basically. But we never stopped. We kept hanging in there, and then when he came on, I mean, it could have read 4-1 to us as well, and that's how daft football is.
Well, Newcastle go rolling on, but Middlesbrough didn't play like a team that were on a long losing run.
Yeah, I know. No, Brian Robson, I think, more than anyone, been absolutely choked because, I mean, if you think how much they've been struggling, then suddenly to get the side playing well, Derby match, it lifted them. Either side of half-time, they should have got the second goal. That was the key. And more than anything, Nick Barmby, who had 3 chances in about 7 or 8 minutes that normally you would expect him to tuck away. I mean, his running off the ball is outstanding, very intelligent. Here you see him ringed. At this stage, you know, Albert looks as he's got him covered. Peacock and Wilkinson have challenged for the ball. And as Pollock then turns inside, look where Barmby's got. He's got between the two. Peacock quite rightly looking after the Wilkinson. Albert trying to play the offside. And Barmby does well, just cuts across then Peacock on his left foot. And Cernacek makes a terrific save, backpedaling. And very unlucky not to get that second goal. After that, the next 2 chances weren't so good for Nick to watch, because really the second one, this is an up and under straightforward ball. Again, he's just got behind Wilkinson and Peacock, and look, Barton and Albert again just trying to play the offside. I don't think he has to shoot that early. Albert would never have got a touch, just a little touch, and to tuck it into the corner. Again, this long ball forward from the goalie, and really look at him running beyond Peacock and Wilkinson. Have another challenge in the end. Little Janino then tucks it between Barton and Albert. Albert almost now looks as if he's running towards the goal. So, you know, no need to hurry the shot. Just that little bit of composure on the finish. Great running off the ball, but he knows a second goal then would have been it.
Now, there are a lot of question marks about the signing of Asprilla, but whatever Kevin Keegan does, he seems to get it right, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, you know, it was in the script today, wasn't it? He's such a stubborn fella, Kevin. He didn't want to let this deal go, did he? And here you see, really, his ability. He's not match fit. You see him in the top of the picture. Then just start into that space down the line. At this stage, I think Steve Vickers has got to get tight. Don't let him turn, because now, suddenly, when he's going at you, you've got problems. The old dodgy knee doesn't look bad here, does it, on this little swivelling action? And he has a quick look up, and Steve Watson just gets in front of Chris Morris, and, you know, probably bad defending as well, free header. And then, of course, he's got this sort of, you know, almost rubbery leg, doesn't he? It looks as if he's tired and staggering here, and he has a little leggy lope out to the right wing. But that is his style. He is a unique footballer. At this stage, you think the chance has gone, but Craig Little here dwells on it and puts a disastrous ball square. I mean, that was one that set up the shooting opportunity. Just clipped the heel of a defender, but, you know, no excuse really there for Walsh, and just underneath him. This, I think, is when you haven't got David Ginoli, you're looking for a bit of flair. And here, a little drag back. Poor old Chris Morris there trying to get a touch to the ball, and this is a nutmeg and a half, isn't it, through the legs. I wouldn't like to play in a 5-a-side with he and Ginola. I don't think you get much of the ball, would you, in training? But, I mean, they're crowd pleasers and terrific.
Where will he play when they're all fit, when Ginola's back in the team?
Well, I would have think, you know, alongside Ferdinand, and then you've probably got Ginola on the left and Gillespie, and in the midfield you can play Beardsley and probably Robert Lee Holding. So Lee Clark, who's been the anchor man there, would be the one perhaps more vulnerable.
Thank you. Well, Blackburn Rovers have been gradually climbing the table after their poor start to the season, but their away form has remained well below par. Just one win before... after 370 games and nearly 10 months, today's matches would decide the championship and the final relegation place. Newcastle had to rely on a Manchester United slip-up. United's destiny was in their own hands, and one of 4 teams was heading for the First Division. Alan and Gary enjoying the last day's spectacular with us, and we begin with Manchester United, 2 points clear, away to Middlesbrough. The commentary from John Motd.
It's a clear, bright afternoon on Teesside, and it's Manchester United's first visit to the Riverside Stadium. Will it be a momentous one for a club on the brink of their 10th championship? Alex Ferguson was smiling when the team arrived, and he makes one change from the side that beat Nottingham Forest 5-0 7 days ago. Nicky Butt returns after suspension and replaces Lee Sharp, who doesn't even make the substitutes bench. But it's there that we find the club captain Steve Bruce, who's just recovered from injury, and Andy Cole, again left out of the 11 in favour of Paul Scholes. The side captained by the Footballer of the Year, Eric Cantona. And ironically, it's Brian Robson and Viv Anderson, both former Manchester United players, whose team could help scupper United's title and double ambitions. They've just signed extended contracts that will keep them at Middlesbrough for the next 3 years. And today they recall the former Manchester United goalkeeper, Gary Walsh, in place of Alan Miller. Robbie Mustoe is back in midfield. Jan Arga-Fjørtoft is restored to the attack. And both Brazilians, Juninho and Branco, are on parade. Referee Paul Durkin starts the match. A sellout crowd of just over 30,000 in the Riverside Stadium. Manchester United's ticket allocation, 2,600. But as they start the match in their blue and white shirts, these pictures will be watched by Manchester United supporters all over the world, hoping for the best today. Middlesbrough in red shirts and white shorts, playing from the right. Jamie Pollock is number 8. Into Mustoe. Big cheer for Juninho, and Middlesbrough launch the first attack. Pollock again. Mustoe. Towards Fjørtoft. And now Branco. Fjørtoft pulling David May out of the middle. And Middlesbrough get the throw. Branco to take it. This is Pollock again. Now Juninho. Oh, nice turn. And Juninho gets it back in. Oh, goodness. In the opening seconds, Middlesbrough with Neil Cox sneaking in, almost take the lead. Juninho, lovely skill to start with. Then from on the ground, he gets the cross in, and Cox has crept up to the far post. And the header goes wide. Good ball by Pallister to Cantona, and good running up front by Scholes and Keane. And Roy Keane in a good position. It's a good challenge too. Oh, it's a bad one from Juninho. Straight to Butt. Now Keane. Scholes. Butt again. Beckham. Oh, it was Roy Keane who made the thrust there, and it was Neil Cox who got a very good challenge in. And then the shot coming in from David Beckham. It's a start that's had its moments of anxiety. And the captain, Cantona. Butt's made a forward run here. Scholes in the centre waiting. And the header out is by Mustoe for a corner. Pallister comes to the near post this time. David May's there. Oh, it's in. It's David May for Manchester United from the corner. The ball going over the line. And the start they wanted in the 14th minute as Ryan Giggs floats the corner far post. David May's header is down, it's away from Gary Walsh, and the man on the line can do nothing about it. It's Middlesbrough 0, Manchester United 1. And the man who's playing, partly because of the injury to Steve Bruce, has given Manchester United what could be a priceless lead. Oh, Nicky Butt trying to find Scholes. Cantona is square, and Butt's still in there. And Giggs is there. Middlesbrough can't clear it. It's back again with Irwin. The defence was all over the place there. And it could so easily have been 2-0. Instead, here's Cox. That's a foul. Phil Neville. Well, Alex Ferguson can just relax a little now. His team have struck the first blow here. And if it stayed like this, Manchester United would win the league, no matter what happened at Newcastle. Middlesbrough now push Barmby up alongside Fjørtoft in this attack. There he goes, Barmby. Schmeichel coming. Oh, it was taken away from the goalkeeper, who must probably own up to a misjudgment there. Nick Barmby was not favourite for that, it seemed. And Peter Schmeichel came a long way out, and it was the Middlesbrough man who got the touch. Good running by Barmby, it must be said, but Schmeichel should have made it his if he was going to come that far. Here's Giggs, and look at the number of Manchester United players in this attack. Scholes, Beckham, too short. Pearson in the direct line of that. Juninho showing some great close control, the Brazilian. That's a lovely flowing run by Juninho. It's Barmby! What an opportunity for Middlesbrough to equalise. Beautifully set up by Juninho. From where he was, you wouldn't blame Barmby for shooting, although Jan Arge Fjørtoft on the far side was in a fantastic position, but the way was blocked there. Barmby was right to shoot. His problem was he put it the wrong side of the post. Juninho sets it up, but he had time to line the shot up there, Barmby. And at this moment, you wouldn't bet against Middlesbrough equalising. Except that Scholes found Pollock dwelling on the ball. A better one from Vickers. Now Mustoe. They've got plenty in the middle here. Mustoe! And grabbed by Schmeichel, who's angry at the way Fjørtoft came in. A Scandinavian argument in there, all right. The Danish goalkeeper furious with the Norwegian forward. It's Mustoe's header first. Schmeichel grabs it, just, and then Fjørtoft comes in. Fjørtoft's header, good one, nice cushioned effort, which has brought Middlesbrough into a good attacking position. Juninho, Barmby. Well, Nick Barmby's forced the corner after good work by Fjørtoft and Juninho. Pearson is near post, Vickers is way beyond the far post at the moment. Coming in now, Schmeichel just got to it. Vickers, good block. Pearson, good block. And no shot from the man who perhaps could have driven it in, Branco. Manchester United's defenders doing their jobs there, closing down quickly as they hug their radios in the stands, keeping a close eye on what's happening 30 miles up the road. Now Scholes trying to find a way through to Giggs. He'll need somebody in the middle here, Ryan Giggs, won't he? No, he won't! Well, that's a measure of his individual skill. You wouldn't think that from the position in which he picked up the ball there was really going to be a shot on, but he found a way inside. And he fired it not too far away from the near post, Ryan Giggs. Well, at half-time on Teesside, Manchester United are in a championship winning position thanks to David May. His header from the corner, the only goal of the first half. But it wouldn't be true to say it was an entirely comfortable period for Manchester United, because Middlesbrough had their moments. Well, one block of seats was left free today for reasons of segregation, so the official attendance has been announced at 29,921. But the 2,500 Manchester United fans lucky enough to get tickets will be aware that, save for the unlikely scenario of Newcastle scoring about 6, a draw was also very much what was needed today, or could be enough for their team to win the championship. And that gives them a little bit of leeway in the second half, perhaps. Unless Middlesbrough can turn the match right round. But Manchester United win it. And relieve the danger, and indeed put Giggs into an attacking position. Cantona and Scholes make their runs. And that's an awkward one for Gary Walsh. It came off his own player. It's a corner. Goalkeeper actually backtracked well. It was Derek White who diverted that. As you can see from that, it was a looper, and Gary Walsh had to regain his position. Now a substitution. Paul Scholes is coming off, and Andy Cole is coming on. Well, there's a mixed reception for Andy Cole, but his first job will be to get into the penalty area, where Manchester United are gathered for a corner, to be taken by Ryan Giggs. Pallister, flick on Cole! Oh, good gracious me! What a story we've got here! Andy Cole has come on and scored within seconds. It's his first touch. After all he's been through, and after being brought on here to a few hoots and jeers, look how he answers the critics now. It comes off two players, and Cole, in that predatory position, hooks the ball in from what, 2 or 3 yards, but it's a perfect touch. And is this the goal that clinches the championship for Manchester United early in the second half here? Andy Cole, well, talk about an inspired substitution. I'm sure his manager never thought that would happen straight away. Here's Branco. Fjørtoft's gone to the near post. Further over here is Stamp with a chance. Corner. Well, he hasn't been on very long either. It's another very good piece of setting up by Jan Åge Fjørtoft. Stamp shot, Schmeichel just scrambles it round the post. And forward come Vickers and Pearson. Pearson's in there with Schmeichel. Vickers didn't quite see that coming, and that was very carelessly given away. And this is Juninho. Well, Manchester United would have had themselves to blame if that had brought Middlesbrough back into the game. That's a careless piece of play, really. I think it was Ryan Giggs, and Juninho fires wide. This was where Andy Cole hooked in the goal that Alex Ferguson must believe surely has sewn up his 3rd Manchester United championship. In fact, it'll be his 6th as a manager, because he won 3 at Aberdeen. Cole. But Keane. Oh, good running here by Neville. Gary Walsh comes to meet him. That was an exciting foray by the left-back. Nicky Butt's gone to slot in for him as Middlesbrough break with Juninho. And now Musto bringing White into it. Moore's out on the left touchline, making his run now. Musto. Stamp. Pearson. Fjørtoft. Cox. Comes off Ryan Giggs for a throw. Barmby. Nicely pulled back to Stamp, but it's not difficult for Schmeichel. Had the post covered. Alex Ferguson is about 12 minutes away from another championship and maybe another double. Manchester United still 2 goals to the good, and if Ryan Giggs gets in there, well, who knows what might happen. Here's Butt. It's 3-0 Manchester United, and a real flourish from one of their most gifted players, past Gary Walsh. Splendid individual goal, just beyond the goalkeeper's fingertips. 81 minutes gone, and Ryan Giggs curves in the goal that just emphasises that Manchester United are going to win the FA Carling Premiership in season 1995-96. Andy Cole's on his way here. Gary Walsh has come to meet him. And they can bring the trophy out now, really, can't they? They are indeed champions. He has led them to their 3rd title in 4 seasons, and indeed, when you think how near they came last season, and in 1992 when Leeds won it, they've been in this fight 5 years running, Manchester United. Manchester United win the FA Carling Premiership for the 3rd time in 4 seasons and take the English Championship for the 10th time in their history. The season ends on a high note for Andy Cole and for Peter Schmeichel and all the Manchester United players. Ryan Giggs sealing the victory with a fine goal 9 minutes from the end. And in the end, it didn't matter what happened at Newcastle, because Manchester United, captained by the Footballer of the Year, Eric Cantona, and managed by a man who's now won 6 titles, 3 in England and 3 in Scotland, did what they had to do here and did it convincingly. So Steve Bruce lifts on behalf of Manchester United the FA Carling Premiership trophy, the 3rd time they've won it in the last 4 seasons. Congratulations, Alex. It must be a big relief in a way.
It is. There's no doubt about that. It's such a tense and competitive league that when you do win it, there is a huge sense of relief.
What was it like for you today, having to sit the action out?
I've never ever been so nervous in all my life, and if that's what's being a manager about, they can forget it. It was unbelievable, you know. It's you know, you're kicking every ball, and you can see every little mistake that's going on. But all credit to the lads to come here and win 3-0 is again a great achievement.
What about the young players that you put your trust in at the beginning of this season? You must be very proud of them.
I'm very proud of them. I think we always knew about their ability. What you don't know is how they can handle big game situations. And the temperament. Well, we're fairly certain about the temperament, but only until you get experiences like today do you know more about them. I think they've acquitted themselves brilliantly.
My first year here, we actually did the same as Newcastle's done this year, being at one point I think we were 12-point clear of Leeds, and we lost it on the last 2 weeks. And I feel for Newcastle now. I know exactly what they feel, but I'm very happy that we won it again.
I'd like to close by congratulating you personally. That's your 6th championship, if I can count the 3 at Aberdeen.
Yeah.
So Matt Busby won 5, and you're level with the late Bob Paisley now, Alec.
Oh, well, I'm very proud. I'm very pleased. But the players take all the credit. They've been absolutely magnificent. Spirit, determination, and good football.
So, Newcastle, Wembley, Derby County against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough never been as far as the semi-final in their long history. Our man at the baseball ground, John Motd.
It's the last FA Cup tie to be played at the baseball ground. Derby are off to pastures new after 112 years, and this farewell occasion sees a recall for 30-year-old Martin Taylor, who plays his first senior game since breaking a leg 2.5 years ago. He replaces Russell Holt, who's seen 16 goals go past him in Derby's last 5 games. And Taylor plays behind a revamped defence because Jakob Larsson, Gary Rowett and Paul McGrath all picked up midweek injuries. Paul Trollope returns after suspension, but Dean Sturridge is out for that reason. So Ron Willems comes in up front. Middlesbrough have lost Kinder and Emerson as a result of Wednesday's exertions, so there's a starting place at left-back for Clayton Blackmore. And Borough also make a change in goal, where 21-year-old Ben Roberts is recalled because Mark Schwarzer has already played in the competition for Bradford. Derby start this quarter-final. One step away from a stage of the competition they haven't reached since 1976. Middlesbrough have never been to an FA Cup semi-final. But they're tilting at 2 Wembley finals at this stage, this season, and they're in red. The pitch a whole lot drier than it was for Derby's last cup tie here against Coventry City. Martin Taylor, after so long out of the game, will appreciate early involvement. A lot's been made of the 6-1 result on Wednesday in the league, but often when teams meet in quick succession, the second game has nothing to do with the first. And Derby have possession here. It's Ashley Ward onto Asanovic's pass, but no, the referee will pull it back. No, the referee's pulled it right back. They don't know that up there. There was an incident involving Ravanelli way back on the halfway line, and that's why Mr. Pole is concerned. He's in charge, he says, and Ravanelli was in a bit of trouble there. It was a tangle between him and Chris Powell that started this. Ravanelli went down, and then the hand on the head from Powell, something I think in retaliation from Ravanelli, and the referee quick enough to spot that, with the rest of the players thinking that they could carry on. Free kick to Derby, cut out by Stamp. This is Trollope, Chris Powell. Good left foot Trollope, he did ever so well against Coventry in the last round and then got a 2-match suspension, but Asanovic is the man that Derby normally look to dictate the play. Ravanelli's touch, it's Beck, and Daly having to be quick here. Beck shots, oh, and Martin Taylor got fingertips to it, did he? That's going to be a corner, and Mikael Beck got away. Daly didn't get there quickly enough, and Middlesbrough here could have taken the lead. There's a lovely flick from Ravanelli. It cuts Derby apart. The shot on the run from Beck, good save by Martin Taylor after 5 minutes. Now, corner to Middlesbrough has brought Pearson forward. And Fester. And Fester's up for this one. It's come out to Musto. And now it's Juninho. Oh, and Ravanelli, surely! Good save again by Taylor. Ravanelli again! And blocked this time by Stimats. And Martin Taylor, in the first 6 minutes of his recall, produces 2 important and outstanding saves. Ravanelli here, well, that's his territory. 24 goals this season, you'd have fancied him there. But Taylor responded brilliantly. The worry for him and Derby is that the defence has twice been breached, with Ravanelli involved each time. Well, Middlesbrough looking much more the controlled side early on. Derby at the moment are chasing shadows, never mind the ball. Here's Hignett. Oh, and Juninho well forward here. Couldn't make contact. And there's Ravanelli again after the ball had gone on Chris Powell. That's the second time. And Powell is down, and referee Pole is going to get a card out. He's already spoken to Ravanelli about an earlier incident, and here Powell takes a hefty blow, and the yellow card is shown. Sometimes when teams meet twice within a few days, you get this. Little vendettas seem to be taking place across the pitch. Daly there on Ravanelli. This is Hignett. And now Blackmore, and Mr. Pole keeping a very close eye on things here. That's Stamp on Trollope. Hignett. And that's off the ball as well. Yellow card, Flynn and Hignett. And how many more incidents are there going to be? It's a yellow card there for the high challenge by Sean Flynn. Here's Juninho. Oh, he's got it back from Beck. That's clever play by the Brazilian. This is Stamp. And this is Musto now with Blackmore. Hignett. That's the ball that Juninho loves to play, but he wanted the return there from Ravanelli, couldn't get it. Asanovic takes on Fleming. And he's got two moving up in the middle, and Ashley Ward is there. Just a whisker away from Asanovic's cross. So half an hour gone in the FA Cup quarter-final. And you wouldn't say there's much to choose between these two. Asanovic to Willems. Good skill. Ward's to his left, four defenders around him though, and Willems speculates. Juninho. Oh, look at that from the Brazilian again. Twinkle toes. Well, you wouldn't think it was an English cup tie, really, would you, when you've got Brazilians on the pitch and Italians and Croatians, but it all adds to the glamour of the competition. And Juninho here opened up the Derby defence by sailing past 3 or 4 opponents. Oh, well played by Juninho. Now it's Mikkel Beck. Oh, inside to Hignett, lovely play, Juninho! It was a good chance. Indeed, set up by Hignett for a man who was playing for Brazil only a few days ago. It was an excellent chance, but he scuffed his shot and gave Martin Taylor the opportunity to save. Ward. Juninho. Hignett. Juninho, brilliant play. Oh, Juninho for Middlesbrough. Fabulous goal. Oh, wonderful goal, the way it was made and taken by the little Brazilian. And Middlesbrough are in front. After 38 minutes. And you won't see a better goal, perhaps, in terms of build-up and execution in the FA Cup this weekend. If you do, you're very lucky. Juninho was the instigator, the architect, initially, got the return pass and then just pushed the ball calmly past Martin Taylor as he came out. Goalkeeper could do nothing about that. And Juninho, who got the winner at Manchester City in round 5, has got the first goal at Derby in round 6. And Middlesbrough deserve it, really. They've made the better chances in the first half. Well, on the day that the last cup tie takes place on this famous pitch, a Brazilian produces a goal that will be remembered for quite some time to come. This is Ashley Ward for Derby. And now it's Willems. And Derby trying to play a direct game, but they're lacking the pace of Sturridge today. This is Chris Powell. That may be a factor in the way the first half has gone, because they haven't truly stretched the Borough defence yet. 5 minutes left in the first half. And it's Beck, and Middlesbrough have got 2 men over here. This is Juninho, Ravanelli's free on the far side. Juninho, oh, and Beck has the shot. Well, Middlesbrough, who beat Derby 6-1 3 days ago, are completely in charge again so far this afternoon. In fact, Derby consider themselves fortunate here not to go two behind, because at one moment in that attack, they were two defenders short. In the end, Mikkel Beck had the shot. Well, Middlesbrough are worthy of their half-time lead, given them by Juninho, who showed invention in midfield, and indeed, but for Derby's goalkeeper Martin Taylor making two other important saves, it could have been better for Middlesbrough and worse for the home side. Half-time, Derby 0, Middlesbrough 1. And at the start of the second half, Gary Rowett coming on in place of Sean Flynn. Now this means a reshuffle in the Derby formation. Gary Rowett has gone to play at the back, and it could well be that we're going to see Lee Carsley further forward for Derby. So are Middlesbrough on the threshold of doing something they've never done before in the now Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup. 7 previous quarter-finals, never a semi. But at the start of the second half, their captain Pearson is down after that collision. And Jim Smith and Steve McLaren just wondering whether their half-time changes will alter the course of this cup tie. But here's Ward for Derby. He's got Darryl Powell to his right, and the referee's already given the free kick. Ward fouled. And here at last is some hope for the home side. Whenever Derby get a free kick in this position, the two Croatians rush to the ball. Stimac, the captain, holding it. Asanovic, who from this angle with his left foot, you would think, as he places the ball, would consider it well worth a try. Asanovic, it was just rising a bit too much. And that again just suggests it might not be Derby's day. He's worked the oracle from these frequently this season. But in getting the height to beat the jumping wall, he just cleared the crossbar. Free kick against Carsley. So Blackmore looks for Ravanelli. And Blackmore again, inside to Hignett. Beck is in the centre here, back to Hignett. It's opened up a bit for Middlesbrough. It's Craig Hignett. Well, he scored one of Middlesbrough's 6 on Wednesday, and he has a good scoring record in the FA Cup, Craig Hignett, with both Middlesbrough and his former club Crewe. And this was an opening that he more or less made for himself, but it was going well away. Blackmore. Oh, that's a delicate little ball. It stretched Gary Rowett. And his challenge on Mikkel Beck was fair enough, and it forced a goal kick. 20 minutes into the second half then, in this FA Cup quarter-final. Juninho's goal, still the difference. Willems. Oh, a possibility here for Derby at last. Ashley Ward! That was the nearest they've been, and Fester just got in time. Ward saw the opening, and he held off the first challenge, but Fester just deflected the effort, and Derby have a corner to be taken by Rowett. Ravanelli will clear this. Twice, in fact. Stimac, Carsley outside him. Now that last flurry might just encourage Derby. The cross by Carsley. It's Ward again. Asanovic is in the thick of it as well. So is Trollope. Darryl Powell. Flags up. It's a free kick to Derby. They're having a bit more of things now. And it's a timely moment, really, for Steemats, the captain, to go forward and join those in the penalty area. Rowett to take. Oh, good header, Pearson. Clearance by Blackmore, not very good. That was Trollope. Now Rowett, back again to Trollope. Looking for Ward. Nigel Pearson backing off. Oh, this is Ashley Ward. Oh, great block, Pearson. And somehow they got it away. But it's back with Carsley. And Ward again, he's working so hard to get his shot, and it's a corner. Ward was denied initially by a magnificent block from Nigel Pearson, who is having a storming game at the heart of the Middlesbrough defence. But they're not out the wood here. It's a corner to be taken by Asanovic. Willems and Ward in the 6-yard box. Daly and Steemats and Rowett to come from deeper now. Oh, well taken by Ben Roberts. Straight off the head of Daly. That was a good collection by the goalkeeper. Because deep in that 6-yard area, he made himself the man in charge. Fleming. Ward. Got Willems to his right. Doesn't find him the first time, he got it back then. Now it's Chris Powell. Asanovic on the far side of the area with his arm up. 3 others are in there if Powell can get a cross in. And he does. And in they come with Asanovic leaving it in the end for Willems to make the challenge. But it was a good bit of defending by Phil Stamp. Really was. Willems was favourite here. Chris Powell does awfully well to get the cross in from the line. And Willems comes in, blocked by Stamp. There's going to be a substitution for Derby. Darryl Powell going off, and Paul Simpson, who scored the consolation goal at the Riverside on Wednesday for Derby, comes on to a big reception. It's a corner to be taken by Asanovic, unless he lets Simpson take over. In fact, they're going to combine, and it's back with Asanovic. And Ravanelli clears for Middlesbrough. And Trollope! Well off target though, and Asanovic was really looking for a far post cross there. Ravanelli cleared and Trollope blazed wide. 15 minutes away, Middlesbrough, from making club history. Here's Beck. Hignet's made a forward run on the far side, and Taylor goes to meet him, and Taylor's out of his ground, and Hignet crosses, and Ravanelli can't get there, and the chance goes. The chance perhaps to seal a semi-final place. Although with Taylor out of his ground, the angle never really favoured Hignet. What he did do was make a very good run on the blind side of the defence, which forced Taylor out. But as he turned, there was just Ravanelli in there, and he couldn't find him. Well, the Derby expressions tend to tell the story at the moment. This is Stamp. Play on. Hignet. Oh, and Beck is onside. He can seal it here. It's Mikkel Beck. Good save by Taylor. Keeps Derby in the cup at least for a few minutes more. And that would have certainly stamped Middlesbrough's passport into the semi-final. Instead, Taylor's save has given Derby a reprieve. Here's Simpson. And Asanovic is on the far side. The clearance finds Willems. Juninho. One back by Trollope for Derby. Asanovic. tries to set up Simpson here. Stamp, a very good interception. Well, should Derby equalise, Middlesbrough will look back on that wonderful opening, but all credit to Martin Taylor for blocking Mikkel Beck's effort. He was clean through here. The Danish international had time to line it up, a little bit wide perhaps on the angle, and Taylor got his angles absolutely spot on. Well, it won't be his fault if Derby go out. In fact, I would say there have been times when he's kept them in with even a shout, Martin Taylor. Musto. This is Hignett, who's been busy and effective in midfield throughout the game. Well, we're coming into that 90th minute when Derby recently have done the unexpected. In fact, they've done it even later than that a couple of times. But this time they've lost possession. It was Rowett and Middlesbrough. Oh, how fortunate for Rowett that he was given that back, because Middlesbrough had two men over, and in trying to recover his own mistake, Hignett gives away a free kick to Derby. Here's Carsley, and Derby have now got plenty of men forward. Ward is in there. Conversation between Juninho and Hignett. You can only imagine what he's saying to the other there. Stoppage time at the baseball ground. The last cup tie to be played here. Middlesbrough lead 1-0. Gabbiadini for Derby, away by Pearson. Juninho, whose goal it is. Stamp, and now Ravanelli poised to make a run. This is Juninho. He's got nobody to his left. He has now, it's Ravanelli, the lovely switch of play. Oh, what a finish! And Ravanelli ensures that Middlesbrough will go into the FA Cup semi-final for the first time in their history. It's his 25th of the season, but this one has huge significance. Lovely switch of positions with Juninho, and Ravanelli rifles the ball with his left foot beyond Martin Taylor, and in stoppage time makes it Derby 0, Middlesbrough 2. His hat-trick on Wednesday was bad enough for Derby, but that has ended any hopes they might have had and put Brian Robson's team into new territory. Brian Robson is the first manager ever to take Middlesbrough into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. A comfortable victory here, and with a Coca-Cola second leg to come next week, in which they're 2 up, they could be going to Wembley twice, thanks today largely to Juninho. Scored the first and made the second for Ravanelli, and Middlesbrough never looked less than comfortable. Ravanelli just ensuring the victory at the end. But from a Derby point of view, the last FA Cup tie to be played at the baseball ground ends in disappointment. Juninho is triumphant. Jim Smith again unlucky in the FA Cup. Middlesbrough making light of their absentees. Derby clearly missing Sturridge. And a final score as Middlesbrough celebrate of Derby 0, Middlesbrough 2.
Well, it was a typical quarter-final. It's not a lot of football and a lot of endeavour. And nervous as well for everybody, but they had two guys called Ravanelli and Juninho who just produced sheer class when it was required. And to be fair, they, credit to Middlesbrough, they defended brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly.
Was there ever a stage in the match where you thought, it's going away from me, we're losing this?
No, because I thought first half it was a very good performance by us and we missed a few chances. In the second half, yes, I mean, Derby started putting quite a lot of balls into our box, and the back four had to be very resolute to keep Derby out. But it was a pleasing performance, because one was a football half, and then the next one we had to battle, and the back four did that for me.
I thought Derby were very unlucky to be on the receiving end of 6 the other night. Today, I thought it was a lot tighter. But having said that, we soaked the pressure up quite well as a team and caught them with two nice breakaway goals.
Well, another semi-final, FA Cup this time. Who'd you fancy?
I'm not bothered. I'm just glad to be there, you know. As I say, it's a dream come true for all the lads. You know, no one's had a sniff of Wembley bar one person, I think. But to get into 2 semi-finals this year, it's some achievement.
So will you be up early tomorrow and watching the football throughout the day?
Yeah, I don't know. It's Mother's Day tomorrow, so I think the wife will have me out for meals and stuff.
Semi-final of the FA Cup for Middlesbrough. You can't imagine looking at that team today why they're bottom of the league, can you?
Well, that's right. I think it was a top 6 performance. The trouble with Middlesbrough is that they're a very good team when they've got the ball and going forward, not so good when they haven't got it. If you look at the quality of players in forward positions, you think talent and ability, 100%, but not so great when they haven't got the ball trying to get it back. And what that does, it puts pressure on the defence. It's well documented they've lost bad goals this season, but to be fair, they've not really had a lot of protection in front of them. Today, they were outstanding, especially the captain, Nigel Pearson. Excellent, but Derby played to his strengths. They kept him pumping in the air. And that is his forte. He's strong there and he just won it all day long. Played it to his midfield players, and then the passing and movement from then on was absolutely scintillating. It really was.
Yeah. They defended well today, though, Middlesbrough.
Oh, I thought defensively they were excellent. Yeah. And if they keep playing like that, there's no reason why they can't go all the way in the 2 competitions and stay in the league as well.
Shall we have a look at 1 or 2 examples that you've got for us?
Well, it's a bit tasty. I mean, no team in the bottom half of the league can play like this in forward positions. Juninho, it's pass, it's move, it's quick, it's decisive, and really, for a player of his class, Juninho should do better than that. But he makes up for it with a goal. Again, great first touch, looks round, plays into Hignett. Hignett takes it inside, gives it to Juninho, comes inside, brilliant goal. But Beck plays his part here as well. I think his movement has been terrific all afternoon. We circle the Derby defence here in Beck. What Beck does well here is he moves Carsley away. He takes him at wide, and what that does is leaves a big space in the middle. Carsley should be tucking in. When Juninho comes forward, big gap there, and it's in the back of the net. So it's passing, it's movement, very, very good. This is the second goal. First touch from Juninho again, magnificent. And then it's just bump, bump, bump. Hignett, stamp, back to Juninho, and then watch Ravanelli. He's always near the line of the defence. He gets caught offside a few times. Watch his right hand here, play it there, but no, he keeps on moving. And then when he goes to hit it here, if you watch the Derby defence, we've circled the Middlesbrough players, he could pass it to anybody there, but the Derby defence is in a shambolic position. And it's because they've moved them all about the place.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
He's done wonderfully well, Ravanelli, for a team that's been struggling in the league. I mean, they're in these cup competitions, struggling. He's got 25 goals. It's terrific.
Well, he's a tremendous centre forward. I think that he's very intelligent the way he runs. He's big, strong, obviously can find the target. He's scored a lot of goals. I just think that when things aren't going well for him, he gets disillusioned and the hands go up and he starts blaming everybody else. And obviously that's not great for the team spirit. But again today, fantastic. Defended well today.
Yeah, when they're up, he's up.
When they're up, he's up. But when they're down, he's not so good.
Yeah, the danger would be, of course, if they go down, he's off, isn't he? He'd be on his bike.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Derby, just a word about Derby, Trevor. I mean, they do, I mean, John pointed out in the commentary that they do miss Sturridge. They miss his pace.
But his pace is a great outlet, and they didn't have that today. And they've missed him whenever I've seen them play. I think also the more worry now from a Premiership point of view is they're starting to leak goals, and I think that was their solid base for the season when they were keeping out of that relegation issue. So it's important to get that defensive stability back, but also come back Dean Sturridge.
OK, thanks. Well, the 3 other Littlewoods quarter-finals are, of course, tomorrow. Our live game is Sheffield Wednesday against Wimbledon. More of that later. Well, now to the Premiership and Manchester United.
We have 2 options ahead of us as we